No mai haere mai, welcome and warm Pacific greetings. I'm Kate, and in this video we're going to kōrero about support options available for living with long COVID and other post-viral illnesses like ME/CFS. Long COVID, like all post-viral illnesses, affects people differently, so everyone will need different levels of support. Some will need financial support, and others will need practical help while learning to live with their ongoing illness, especially when it limits their ability to perform daily tasks of living. There are a number of options you may be able to access through your doctor or health provider. These include a Needs Assessment and Service Coordination, often called NASC. Completed by Te Whatu Order, this assessment determines your needs for help and support for personal care, home help, respite care and shopping assistance for the elderly. You'll need to ask your doctor or health provider to complete a referral. For personal care and home help, there are specific things that they will or won't fund, so discuss your options with your doctor or an advocate beforehand. Outpatient services. These include dietitians, physios and/or occupational therapists. Occupational therapists can help you with learning to pace yourself or manage at home when you're experiencing limitations in your physical ability. They may also provide physical resources such as shower stools and walking frames. Depending on the type of physio, they can support with movement and breathing for things like pain, injuries, cardiorespiratory conditions and breathing disorders. Please be aware there are significant delays in the public health system for these referrals at present, but you can find an independent physio at physio.org.nz.
As a physiotherapist seeing people with long COVID, some of the symptoms that we typically are involved in would be things like breathing pattern disorders, as well as managing fatigue with some of our other allied health colleagues such as occupational therapists or psychologists. But a lot of what we see are people either trying to return to activities and looking into symptoms that we could help with, such as their breathing pattern disorders, any anxiety related to that, as well as getting them back to exercise safely. We do deal with people with pain a lot of the time.
A mobility parking permit can be helpful if your ability to walk long distances has been affected. This will allow you to use allocated disability parking spots that are often closer and more accessible to services such as grocery stores and shopping centres. CCS Disability Support Services provides mobility permits for a small fee. To access the mobility parking scheme, complete the form on the CCS Disability Action website and get it signed off by your doctor or health provider.
I have a wheelchair if I need to go out anywhere, and a mobility pass, which I got my doctor to sign off on.
Total Mobility Scheme is a nationwide service that assists people with long-term impairments to access appropriate transport to meet their daily needs and enhance their community participation. It involves subsidised public transport and approved taxi services. For more information, check out your local council, regional transport service or NZTA's Total Mobility resources via the link in the video description.
So among people with long COVID, sort of things that would help were provision of wraparound support by a GP or a primary care provider. So not just the physical health, but also the emotional health, also some direction about where to get financial support, how to apply for WINS support.
If you're unable to work or can only work part-time due to your long COVID symptoms, you might be entitled to financial support through work and income. This is usually job seeker or sole parent support with a medical deferral or a disability allowance. You will need to provide a medical certificate from your doctor or health provider stating that you're unable to work or that you can only work part-time. The disability allowance is additional work and income support signed off by your doctor or health provider. It provides help with medical costs, including doctor's visits, prescriptions, some alternative health appointments, supplements, counselling, and medical aids like shower stools or compression garments. There is a weekly financial limit, so it's best to choose your most needed items or services. Other types of work and income support include an accommodation supplement, temporary additional support, food grants, and advances, but like interest-free loans for essential costs. Some support is income tested and may depend on whether you have a partner or spouse who is working, so please talk with your local work and income office or go to their website to see if you qualify. If you need a little extra help financially, many charities, churches and social support agencies provide food parcels and support packages for families in need. Sometimes, just receiving a package can help you feel supported in a really difficult time. At foodbank.co.nz/foodbanks, you can find publicly accessible food banks and support nationwide. One benefit that is often overlooked is the Child Disability Allowance. This is not means tested and can be paid in addition to the disability allowance for a child who requires constant care and supervision due to a disability or illness. If your child has moderate or severe long COVID or ME/CFS, they may be eligible for this, so discuss their case with Work and Income. If you need help navigating the Work and Income system to work out what you're entitled to, reach out to an advocacy service, one of the regional ME/CFS support organisations, or people with ME/CFS or long COVID through online Facebook support groups. For families on lower incomes, the IRD also has support through the Working with Families scheme. Check out the IRD website for more information to see if you qualify. There are 3 different types of advocacy services available on Aotearoa that could help you. The first is medical advocacy. The nationwide Health and Disability Advocacy Service has advocates in most areas of New Zealand. They can provide support, advice, and information if you have any challenges in your medical treatment or care from medical professionals, and can support you in making a complaint if needed. You can find them at advocacy.org.nz. Secondly, there are regional advocacy organisations that support work and income beneficiaries to navigate the welfare system, ensuring you receive the support you're entitled to. Some regional ME/CFS support organisations can offer both medical and work and income advocacy services. They may be able to attend appointments or meetings with you in person or via Zoom. The third is employment advocacy. If you need help re-entering the workplace or need support with your current role due to long COVID, there are various regional employment advocates who can help with employment issues. Workbridge is a national organisation that supports people with disabilities or chronic illnesses to find a job that suits their needs. There are a number of regional services that also provide supported employment services. These can be found on the New Zealand Disability Support website. You may also be able to contact your employment union, where you can ask for advice on discussing your support needs with your employer. If you're still in paid employment, you have the right to ask your employer for support. Under the Human Rights Act, you're entitled to request reasonable changes to your work environment or contract to make it easier to continue working. For example, reduced working hours, the ability to work from home, or simple things like having a stool or chair if you normally stand. It's important to note that these changes need to be reasonable, and if the cost or disruption is too much to an employer, then they may decline your request. It's definitely best to ask though. Take a list of your needs and proposed changes to the meeting with your employer. Take along a support person if you feel that would help. The Human Rights Commission or organisations such as Workbridge can also help provide support for this. Remember too that reaching out to trusted whānau members and friends can be a great source of support. Explain exactly what kind of help you need, whether this is practical or emotional support. Practical support could mean mowing your lawns or picking up your kids from school. A great example of emotional support is being available when you need someone to talk to.
People understand, if you're tired, but I don't think they understand fully, the impacts of long COVID. And I think that's just because there's not a huge amount of research around it.
Sometimes it was easier for me just to say, hey, here's a newspaper article, have a read of this, and this will give you an idea of where I'm at.
One thing I've learned is, I have to ask for help. I can't do this on my own. I have a lot of disabilities now. I can't remember things, and I need a lot of help. So, yeah, if that's you, then definitely get someone to help you and move on, because there is someone out there that will look after you and look after you well. And even if it's just having you know that you are cared for, I think that's a huge part, to know that you are cared for and not just out there trying to work it out for yourself.
Getting people to visit me if they ask what they can do is actually the most wonderful thing, is having someone visit rather than necessarily doing something, because it's really lonely, so that's really nice.
Within your community, there could be other sources of support. This includes churches and other religious organisations who often offer practical assistance or emotional support. Your doctor or health provider may be able to refer you to free counselling services or connect you with a free health improvement practitioner. There are free helplines or text services available if you need to talk to someone. These are listed on our website via the link in the video description. Join one of the Long COVID online Facebook support groups, or one of the ME/CFS support organisations who also help people with long COVID. Again, links can be found via the link in the video description. Our not-for-profit ME Support also has regular facilitated online and face-to-face support groups. These have guest speakers or illness management topic discussions available for anyone with ME/CFS, long COVID, or their whānau and carers.
A lot of this comes down to whether you can afford it, whether that's afford to rest and afford the money to seek help, whether that's medical or nutritional or any of those other helping aids that we can seek. So yeah, unfortunately there's not too many things, but there's loads of support out there, and I think that's the key thing. I think the support networks are a wealth of information, and one of the best places people can go to sort of not feel alone.
Where it's helpful for you, then there are plenty of online support groups. There's ME Auckland, there's a Facebook group which is specifically for people with long COVID, and there's a lot of international groups as well.
Finding the social situation or the social support that really supports me. I regularly meet on Zoom and have done for the last 2 years with a group of people, which are really my whānau, I guess. They're the people who understand. They're the people who are having the same weird things happening to them as has happened to me.
I belong to a Facebook support group, a New Zealand Facebook support group, which is absolutely amazing, because then I feel other people who understand. And then I recently joined the ME/CFS Society as well.
It's amazing how good it can feel to talk with someone and get support from others who understand and know what it's like to live with long COVID. For parents of tamariki with long COVID, kidshealth.org.nz and the Long COVID Kids website are extremely helpful and are wonderful resources. We talk more about this in video 9. All the links to the different support organisations and groups we discuss are available through the link in the video description. Living with long COVID and ME/CFS can be very challenging, so please reach out for support when you need it. You might be eligible for financial support through work and income. Advocacy services could help you communicate your needs to your employer, doctor, or work and income case manager. There's a number of community organisations who can also provide a range of support. This is the final video in our kitia on long COVID. We hope it's all been helpful and that you feel more confident in dealing with the life change and symptoms you're experiencing. If you haven't yet watched the other videos, definitely check those out, starting with the ones you feel are most relevant for your situation. Ngā mihi, and thank you for watching. Please do get in touch if you have any questions, and if you've found this video helpful, please share it.